Hey everybody, it's that time again. Let's go wheeling. Let's just open the garage, hop in the Jeep, and go hit the trail. Alrighty. Hey, what happened to the Jeep? Hey everybody, welcome back and thanks for watching 4 Low Rocks. Yeah, that's true, the Jeep has gone missing in action. But I don't think it's all that bad. You see, I took it in for routine service back on July 6th. Today is July 22nd and I haven't seen it since. When I took it in for service, I also complained about a loud whine that I was hearing from somewhere in the forward part of the drivetrain. Since then, they've been involved in trying to troubleshoot and fix that issue for me. But first, before we get started talking about that problem, I'd like to thank all of you who have reached out and started working with the Amazon links that I've been posting down below in the information on this video, as it is starting to help the channel, and I really appreciate that. The work that you're doing there is going to better support this channel, help me work on some upgraded production capabilities, and some more product installs and reviews. Big disclaimer about this video is I don't intend here to create any panic or go into some FCA bashing or talk about all the issues that I've been having with the Jeeps that some other people have been reporting on their YouTube channels. I am aware of the fact that when you buy into a first-year model of any manufacturer's cars, that you kind of become a paying participant in helping them learn about their own vehicles and how they're going to troubleshoot issues and concerns as they go into the second and third year of production on those cars. I am aware of some other issues that have been happening and being reported on YouTube. I've been closely watching Light Bright's channel. They've had some big problems with steering on their JLUR, for which Jeep did replace the vehicle for them, and with their new vehicle they're having some serious leakage problems in the freedom panels and the roof line. I also recently watched another video where a gentleman has reported, I believe it's in Michigan, that his engine has more or less detonated. But I don't see that as really a JLUR issue. It's more the 3.6 platform with the engine, and it may just be an isolated case. I do like to watch and keep in touch with Brandon over at Jeep Informant. He has a great channel. He's from what I understand, a mechanic at a Jeep dealership, and he provides a lot of good information about what's going on with these new vehicles, as well as other FCA products and even earlier JK models. So yeah, the Jeep has been in the shop for 16 days, and this all started when I started hearing a whine in the forward part of the running gear of the Jeep. I don't really know when that started. I bought the vehicle in February, and during that time it was a little chilly. I didn't roll the windows down. I like to keep music going in the Jeep all the time when I'm riding in it, and I didn't notice that noise until things started warming up here in the San Diego area, and I started putting the windows down. It's a very pronounced whine. It starts happening in first gear under kind of heavy to moderate acceleration. Under light acceleration, I don't really hear it. It's most pronounced when I'm next to a wall or another vehicle. And I live in an area where my garage is in an alleyway, and I hear it quite well when I'm leaving my house or coming back to the house from a drive. So the whine starts in first gear. It escalates in intensity and pitch through first gear. When the transmission shifts into second, the noise drops a bit, and then it increases again in pitch and intensity through second gear. When it shifts to third, again it drops, and it increases in pitch and intensity through third gear. And by about that time, I'm going well enough where I don't hear it much anymore, because the wind noise, if I have the windows down, is masking it, or music inside the Jeep masks it. And even with the windows up, it's not all that noticeable, because I think there's some rather good sound deadening and insulation in the body. So with those symptoms, I have to think that this is a transmission issue. I don't believe it's with the forward pumpkin, because that would be a rather constant noise. I don't believe that it's a wheel bearing up front, because that would be a noise that might change intensity with different steering angles, but would really reflect more the speed of the Jeep as it goes down the road, and shouldn't change with the shifting. I don't believe it's the transfer case, because the noise is there and is present whether it's in 2 high, 4 high, or 4 low. through about the first 3 gears. If I'm in 4 low and I'm in a gear above that, I'm probably not paying a whole lot of attention because I'm trying to navigate some obstacle out on the trail. So again, I don't know if it's present much after about 3rd gear. In the past, I've had several first-year models of other manufacturers' vehicles, including this Harley, and I haven't had much of an issue at all with any previous vehicles. So I'm not a true believer in the fact that if you buy into a first year, you're an unwitting participant in the manufacturer's learning process about their new product. It could be that way in this particular case. My dealer is Perry, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram of National City here in the San Diego area. My service writer has been Taylor in this issue, and she's been very helpful. Matter of fact, the whole dealership's been helpful. I've called them a few times in the evening when I've gotten home from work. Taylor's already left for the day, but other people have done well in answering my questions. They did put me into a rental at their expense. They gave me a Jeep Cherokee. It's nice, but it's not my Wrangler. It was kind of funny when I picked up the car at Enterprise that I told them I was missing a Big Bear weekend with the San Diego Jeep Club because my Jeep was in the shop. And they thought, oh, we've got a great Jeep we're going to put you in. And so when I saw that it was a Grand Cherokee, I had to laugh a little bit inside. Not their fault, but just a little joke on them. The first thing they did, according to their troubleshooting procedures, is they replaced the transmission cooler. Now I'm not really sure, and I've talked with other people about how a transmission cooler could make that whine, but I'm not a transmission expert, and I would suspect that if they think it was a problem, it might be because there's a gear-driven pump that's pumping the fluid up to the cooling radiator in the front of the Jeep, or something that would lead to that whine. So it took them a few days to get the part. They did install the part, which I understand was pretty good major surgery on the transmission. They put it all back together. Both the technician and the dealer's lead service manager took it out for a ride, and the problem persisted. I spoke with my tech writer on that day, and she said that they were going to elevate the case to what's called a star case, and in FCA parlance, that is really a way that they reach back out to the manufacturer to ask for help and figure out what's going on. A couple days later, I understand Jeep came back to them and offered 5 different things that they should pursue in replacing one part after another and trying to get rid of the symptom. I believe they went and negotiated together, but Jeep ultimately decided that the best thing to do, since we're already quite deep into the lemon law situation here in California, they decided to ship a new transmission, and they're going to replace that when they get it. So let's speak a little bit about lemon laws. Here in California, the lemon laws are pretty clear in that if the vehicle is taken out of service for 30 or more days, and it doesn't have to be consecutive days, it can be 30 days over a period of repeated attempts to fix a problem, then the vehicle is eligible for a lemon law buyback or replacement under California laws. I'm not a lawyer, so that may be not exactly true. There are other circumstances that could come into play there with the lemon laws, but I believe that's what really applies to me, is I'm now 16 days into this 30-day period. But I do believe the issue is going to get fixed. I don't believe this is a Jeep or an FCA issue, really. From my research, I think that Jeep buys this ZF transmission from a different vendor, and they just install it in several of their vehicles. In fact, the ZF 8-speed transmission is used in many other vehicles, including BMWs, Land Rovers, and some other high-end vehicles, as well as your average daily vehicles driven here in North America. It's a very decent transmission, and it helps a lot of cars get much better gas mileage, including the Jeep Wrangler. I tend to like it. I think it drives very nicely. I think it shifts very nicely, and I don't really have an issue with that transmission. It's just this one may be the bad one that came off the production line on that day. To add to that, I have found out that the build date on my Jeep is that it was built on a Friday. Yes. So I also have first-year model issues to deal with and Friday build issues to deal with. I haven't really had anything go wrong with it yet, so hopefully this is an isolated case and it's just the transmission swap will fix it out. It's my understanding that as of the middle of last week, about Wednesday when I spoke to Taylor last time, they were expecting the transmission to arrive late in the week, and they were going to work over the weekend and into early next week to replace the transmission and of course take it out for another check drive before they return it to me. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed and hoping for further word early next week that it has solved the problem and my Jeep is ready to be returned to me. So do I see this as Fiat Chrysler of America or Jeep's fault? I'm not really sure that it is their fault. As I said before, it's my research and understanding that they purchase these transmissions from a vendor that supplies many other manufacturers. There are some sources or some information out there that indicates that Chrysler FCA did invest quite heavily into a transmission plant where they intended to produce a lot of their own transmissions. I don't know if they've done that yet, or if this transmission was actually purchased from another vendor. I can't tell you that, but I do believe that the ZF8 is a nice, reliable transmission. I do believe that this will fix the issue. At least I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping so. And I'll keep you all informed with further updates on this channel as things progress. I hope that my next update, when you come into this garage, you'll see the Jeep ready to go on another trail outing. So hey, thanks again for watching 4Low Rocks. Visit my Amazon links below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and others on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And happy wheeling. And while you're at your computer watching this video, how about taking a few minutes to join us on the Dos Cabezas Trail at the link provided on this screen.